Hello again, Tom Romeo from Practical Compliance Solutions, here to show you how we set up all of our inventory for that previous demo that we did. So recall we have some inventory items. We've got some raw materials, and you'll note that each item has a location, a description, a status, a category, a class code, some custom fields. And these items are used specifically to help report or help find our inventory. Let's say I wanted to find all my unrestricted inventory. I can search by unrestricted. So to set that up, we would go into our category codes and create some category codes. We can go into our class codes and create some class codes. We can create departments. We've got sites. So if I had a multi-site environment, I can then create different sites. I can create different buildings within a site. I can create different location types. So whether it's a see, like this one, storage, is the default location type that comes with Traverse, so you can do a quick startup. But you can create a shelf, you can create a row, you can create a pallet row, whatever you like. You can designate these things any way you like. It's very flexible. We can create locations, and again, I just created a few locations so that we can demonstrate exactly how to use the Traverse product. So here, there's location number 8. It's a row of pallets. It's in the annex warehouse. Okay. For our purposes here, we used a special kind of inventory type. So let's say, for example, raw material. Notice how it is unique. Remember earlier that we had that inventory item. Each item in inventory is uniquely identified either by pallet number or UCC 128 number, but they're pallets. So each pallet is uniquely identified. If this item was not checked, then we might store our inventory, let's say, by SKU or UPC. Let's say I had 20 bottles of Skippy peanut butter, and I would store the UPC with a quantity of 20, or maybe I'd have 5 of them at a certain location with a certain expiration date and 5 more at a different location with a different expiration date. But the grand total would all be 20. Note also that I've got optional fields, right? So I've got UPC, I've got SKU. In that other example with the Skippy, I could say, hey, the asset ID is the UPC is the asset ID, and I would check that box off. I've got custom fields. So I created a custom field called batch UCC GR, and remember what that all looked like. So that's all right on that page. See it? Batch UCC GR. If I turn them off, they wouldn't appear on this page, right? And similarly, as I showed earlier, if I want to search by SKU, I can search by SKU. Now, the way we created that notification was by creating a particular notification in our system. So we have an ID for the notification. It's immaterial. The IDs are just uniquely identified. It happens when a consume occurs. It happens to this particular inventory type. It's asset type, inventory type. They're interchangeable. I'm checking the minimum quantity on hand when a consume transaction occurs, and I'm comparing it to the quantity. And when the minimum quantity on hand is greater than or equal to the quantity, that's when I'm going to get a notification. And that's exactly what happened. You saw when we consumed that pallet, I received that notification on my main page, but I also received that email. Then there are other aspects of the system. We've got status codes. We've got units of measure if you choose to use them. I didn't create any yet for this demo, but I mean, we can use them. And of course, the system configuration. When you first install Traverse, you are obligated to fill in your company information, and that's how licensing works. Now, I'm not going to go to the SMTP info because I don't want to show what my account ID is, but under that tab is how I set up my SMTP server and my email addresses so that the email can go out to the person that is supposed to receive it, and the appropriate from party is addressed. Here is the archive and purge aspect. So it's another thing you have to set up. This means any transaction that occurs within Traverse after 6 months, in this particular case, it's going to move to history. And then after 4 years, it'll move out of history. It'll just be deleted. Or you can do it by maximum number of rows. So this is 500,000 rows in live data and 500,000 rows in history. Either way, however you want to set it up. And then, of course, you noticed we are getting email notifications because I've checked it off. We're getting emailed errors. This means if any error occurs in the system at all, any kind of anomaly that occurs, if you're signed up for that level of support, the error will automatically come to our support desk. So even before you report the error, we can start working on the problem. And display tree is exactly this. So this tree. And it shows all of our locations. You notice how some locations have a plus sign. That means there's inventory there. And some locations don't. If I click that location, it's going to take me to the location itself. If I click the location plus sign and then click the item within, it'll take me to the item. So it's very easy to navigate. So that's, and then of course there's security. You set up your users. Administrator is the default user when you first enter the system. And of course security is the highest level of security within the system. Without this checked, nobody can get to anything on this tab, so you can't add users. And that's it for video number 2. We're going to keep them short so that they're fast and easy to download. And then the next video will display a little bit about reporting. Okay.